Authorized Biography of a Yogi by Katia Mossin. Chapter Under a Banyan Tree. Besides his personal inner turmoil, life in the ashram was quite comfortable and rather boring. Breakfast was served at about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and a hefty lunch was chased by a 4 o'clock tea, with snacks. The midday siesta was considered sacred. Then at around 9 p.m., a filling supper summed up an uneventful day. By 10 p.m., everyone was soundly asleep. Because of the carbohydrate-rich diet, all of the inhabitants of the ashram were slightly overweight and sleepy. No one ever tried to meditate in off hours, and what for? Setting his own schedule, he meditated in the temple for 8 hours straight, trying to master the given techniques, whatever they were. There was nobody to discuss the practice or the signs of possible progress. Kriya was the only subject he was interested in, but no one at the ashram could or would answer his queries. Therefore, there was plenty of time to ponder different subjects. After a while, an odd thought began to recur. This life was comfortable, and food was provided regularly. He did not need to worry about money, shelter, or supplies. But what if he left? Would the power of God and the grace of Babaji keep him alive? Would someone literally put food in his mouth as proof of the presence of larger powers in the charge of his fate? These thoughts became so overwhelming that in the last week of October, he decided to test fate, himself, and the divine will, if there was any. One early morning, after a quick shower, he climbed over the ashram's wall and started to walk towards the konark along the seashore. Soon, Puri was behind. He turned into the jungle and followed a narrow trail. From early morning till dusk, he walked without stopping and without any particular destination in mind. Making his way through the increasingly dense thickets and trying not to lose the barely visible path, he thought, "I will eat only if someone puts food in my mouth." Only the purity of the experiment could prove a connection between a mortal's fate and the higher powers who commanded it. In the Far East, the sunset comes early. By 5 p.m., it is pitch dark. Feeling exhausted and sore, he crashed under a big banyan tree and was immediately swallowed by a heavy dreamless sleep. When he woke up, the sun was already high. Far away, some farmers worked in the fields. There were no thoughts or urges. His body felt light, and there was not even a trace of hunger or thirst. He was beyond caring. Dizziness and weakness were pleasant, edging foggy, relaxing delirium. For the most part of the day, he slept, and time passed uneventfully. In the countryside, strangers are noticed immediately. The vastness of the landscapes sharpens the villagers' eyes. Perhaps the farmers noticed him from the paddy fields and informed their wives. Judging from the position of the sun, it was about 11 o'clock when several women approached the tree. Young and old, they carried earthen pots with foods and a jar of water. Then they put it in front of him. Intense hunger and thirst arose. The food had come, and he could eat and drink now. But he stopped himself. No, the vow was different. He had sworn that he would eat only if someone fed him. The faint but distinct aroma of freshly cooked food made him dizzy. He turned away. The miraculously materialized offering was not convincing enough. It had to be ensured that all the details of the requests were heard. The woman sat nearby for some time and left quietly after a while. The next day, he felt neither his body nor hunger. His breath slowed down, and he was peering into another dimension. The paddy fields turned into slowly but moving soft green waves, and the distant trees changed their shapes and colors. Around noon, the woman came again. This time, there were 25 or 30 of them. He could not be sure. As if through thick fog, he watched the movements of the folds of the colorful saris, blurry, dark faces, and flashes of cautious, timid smiles. His short-cropped beard and mustache gave him the look of a sadhu. The plain white kurta pajama he wore was dirty and torn from the long journey through the jungle. Still, He did not look wounded or sick. He was just alone in the strange land, and they knew it. Food on a banana leaf and a clay pot of water were placed on the ground in front of him again and again, and he turned away from them. The oath was an oath. Someone had to put food in his mouth. A young girl, hardly 9 years old, was dressed in traditional bridal attire as per the old custom of child marriages in Orissa. An old woman gestured to her, and the girl came closer, squatting near him. She mixed banana curry with rice and timidly held out food to his parched lips. He ate. The girl held out another 4 to 5 morsels, and he could no longer control the tears and did not want to. The wet streaks marked the girl's cheeks. He turned to the silent group. Women were crying softly and soundlessly. That was a life-changing moment of realization. Compassion was a core part of any woman. It lived in their hearts because they were made to bring life, to nurture and save it. Women were manifesting the power of life, and now this power imperiously called out to him, live. Before this, he never considered women worthy of any attention. They lived in a parallel world narrowed down to cooking, domestic chores, and gossip. While accompanying his mother to the market, he would usually walk at a distance, trying to disassociate himself from this mediocre and limited female universe. Now, in a time of need, only women came to his rescue. He was a total stranger, and yet they showed compassion. With their hands excised by work, fleeting smiles and hushed voices, they radiated genuine primordial love. Heightened emotions opened a strange new ability. He did not need to look around any longer, as the heart saw and felt everything at once. The scent of the hot midday earth and warm grass, the flavor of food, and the aroma of a child's hair suddenly became pungent and intoxicating. In a gesture of blessing, he put his hand on the girl's head. She sat motionlessly. The woman began to sing bhajans in the Odeon language. The tears stopped, and in an hour or so, one by one, women prostrated in front of him, and he touched the head of the child bride again. Then everyone left. The request was fulfilled. Whatever power took on the guise of a village woman, it clearly manifested its will and presence. There was not a trace of excitement, only gratitude and quiet bliss. He took a few sips of water and slept some more. In the evening, he went back to Puri. The jungle was left behind, bright moonlight illuminated the ocean, and the path was well lit. Walking steadily, he was filled to the brim with the inexpressible certainty that the soul's true call would always be answered. At dawn, he jumped over the compound wall and entered his room. He slept without dreams or visions, still feeling the warmth of the earth beneath him.